I grew this big beard. I had a little beard, now it's big. And everyone knows that as you grow a beard, you become wiser. So I became wiser. Well, hello. I am the Salty Ginger, and we're back after a long break. We're back to these Navy videos, right? I was doing a few videos in the beginning that talked about different processes in the Navy, mainly to do with your move and your orders. But nobody really watched them but me, so I stopped. I grew this big beard. I had a little beard, now it's big. And everyone knows that as you grow a beard, you become wiser. So I became wiser. And I monitored those videos in the Navy series. And there is one video that continues to get some views. And there'll be a link here or here somewhere. I'm going to put it where you can go watch that video. But that video is about choosing Navy orders. And it continues to get views to this very day. It's actually, I think, my very first video, or one of the first few. But all the interest in that, I thought I'd do another video that relates to that. And what we'll talk about today is how the Navy chooses which orders or which billets are going to be advertised when it comes to application time. So we'll start with a basic overlook of this, right? So the Navy uses a system, My Navy Assignment now, for sailors can go in and choose their orders. And there's a calendar, right, that comes up, and I will pause right here. And we'll go over where to find the calendar. Go to My Navy Assignment, Help tab, down to Active TAR Schedule. Click there, and the calendar will come up. Here it is. It looks complicated, but all the colors mean something, and the key is up top, shows you what exactly they mean, and it breaks it down. It's about a 2 to 3 month cycle. Easy day. Okay, so that's just took a peek at the calendar, right? That application cycle, that's where everybody goes in and looks at the orders that are available. And I know the detailers get a lot of calls that say, well, this set of orders or this billet isn't available, but I want this one. The detailer can't do, if it's not advertised, the detailer can't do anything about it. So we'll talk a little bit about that. In the section that was yellow in there, right? That's the beginning. So there's other people that work up at Millington outside of the detailers, if you didn't know that. And we won't talk about all of them, but there's a few others that are associated or tied to this selection of the orders that are advertised. So the rating evaluator is the person for each rate that's going to be one of the main players here. They don't have a lot of room to do whatever they want and open whatever orders, but they're the ones that's kind of reviewing it. So My Navy Assignment itself, the program, takes all of the billets that are currently available to be advertised, and it ranks them in order from 1 to whatever for priority, right? It prioritizes them. And it's got an algorithm that has to do with what kind of, like, is it a sea duty? Is it a shore duty? Obviously C is a higher priority. Is it a spec war or nuclear related or support for spec war? Any of those. Takes all of that stuff into consideration with this cool little algorithm it has. It does science and it ranks them for priority. So then right before, in that yellow portion of the calendar, the very beginning of that is when the rating evaluators go in and they basically look at the list of all of the orders that are available, and they're gonna just pick the top priority ones. Now the number, deciding how many orders are going to be advertised is a whole nother process. But you know that when you go to choose orders, you can do so 1 year out, and you technically get 3 looks. That's not really a thing, but we'll say you get 3 looks. So that's 1, 2, 3 of those M&A cycles to pick orders, right? And hopefully you get selected for some. So they look at this equation, right? How many people are in their first look? how many people are in their second look, and how many people are in their third look. And they take a percentage of each one of those, do maths, and then they come up with a number. And that's how many people for that segment are going to be advertised. So we'll say, like, I'm an electronics technician, right? So if I have 10 electronics technicians, second classes in their first look, 10 in their second look, and 10 in their third look, I'm going to take a percentage of first, second, and third, ball it all up, and then I get one number of this is how many ET2 billets I'm going to advertise this cycle. So whatever that number is, we'll say it's 10 because we like 10. The rating evaluator is going to basically take the top 10 priority from M&A. And again, M&A chooses that priority. Nobody has any say in that. M&A does that automatically. And they're going to say, we're going to advertise these. These are our top priorities. After that, there's a little bit more to it than that, but we'll dumb it down, right? Top priorities, rating evaluator, boom, we're going to advertise those. Now, you'll notice in the calendar there were 2 yellow portions, and there's a portion in between. During that portion in between, what the rating evaluators for each rate have set to advertise goes higher, right? And it's reviewed by people that get paid more than myself. At least I like to think so. But they're looking at it, and they also are receiving input from the commands in the Navy, right? So you have the USS floats real good, is emailing, they're just angry typing, I have all of these billets that are empty and I really need them filled, please. And this guy's like, okay, well, these guys are deploying soon, or wow, they really are undermanned. And they take all that input and they're going to make their own list of these are what we think is super important. And they're going to compare their list to the list the rating evaluators made, and they're going to request some changes to the list the rating evaluators made. And so the rating evaluators will get another list later that says, hey, don't advertise this instead. And that's because that command has bugged them enough and they've looked at it and realized that there is a real issue there that outweighs the My Navy assignment auto prioritization, right? So you'll get the list of requested changes. The rating evaluator does. They make the adjustments. Some of them they can make, some of them they can't. So they do a report that says, all right, we made these changes. Unfortunately for these ones, we couldn't make them because of whatever. And then that cycle kind of repeats itself until the list is finalized and everybody's happy with it. And that usually happens like the day before the application cycle starts. And then what's advertised is advertised. It doesn't change from the time the application cycle starts. One big thing to keep in mind here is leading up to the first day of the application cycle, you'll start to see billets that first yellow week. You'll see a bunch of billets and My Navy assignment, if you look in the job list, that say open. Meaning technically, if it was the application cycle, open means you can apply for it. But you might get excited. Like your dream job is in there, it says open. You're like, yeah! And you look next week, right? You log back in and you look, and now it doesn't say open anymore. It says something else. That's going to happen. That as just going through the process, because of the full transparency that M&A is going for, you can see the status of all these billets as we change them, really refining that list of what's going to be advertised and what's not. So don't call your detailer and say, yo, this job was open, but now it's gone. That's the job I want. Give me that job. Because like I said, there's nothing they can do. They have nothing to do with setting the cycle. And there's very few reasons that you would be able to choose outside of your normal application period. And if you are that kind of a case, if you have something happening that you get to work with the detailer directly and choose outside of the advertised list, you'll know. Because the detailer will have contacted you, or your command will be pressuring you to get a hold of your detailer for those reasons, right? But I'd say almost everybody is just going to be going out of that, the application cycle through M&A. So again, nothing your detailer can do to get you orders outside of what's available. They're going to change up until the application cycle starts. Just because one said open 4 days before application cycle opened doesn't mean you can get that one if it went away from open. And And yeah, that's about it. So after that, they're all in there, right? You apply. We'll just kind of go through the rest of the process after we go into the application cycle. You find your list of 5 or 7 or whatever you want to apply for. You apply for them. The next stage of that, now the commands. Once the application cycle ends, the commands are going to look at all the people that applied for their orders. They're going to go through their resume that's on My Navy assignment, right? Super important you get into your resume and update it. So that they can see everything. You can really sell yourself in there. It's an actual resume and you can type words and stuff to sell yourself. So commands will go through that. They should be ranking, like racking and stacking all their applicants, top choice, second choice, third choice, with comments. They get a period of time to do that. And then after that, it goes back to the detailers who will make the selections. So they're taking the comments from the commands into consideration and the actual records and locations of the applicants and all of this stuff, and combining it because they have to make all the people they have eligible for orders fit with the orders they have available. And so they do that combined with the rankings and everything and make it work the best way that they possibly can. That's how it works. That's how we choose, the Navy chooses which orders are going to be advertised on My Navy assignment for the application cycle. I know I talk fast. I talk kind of all over the place because that's how my brain works. If you have questions, put them down in the comments and I will answer them. Absolutely. I read all the comments. If you have a question outside of this video, you'd like to have some other aspect of the Navy explained, if I can explain it, I will explain it. If not, I'll try to find information and still explain it, or maybe find someone who can better explain it. But that's all I really got. Thanks for watching. Salty Ginge, you should like and subscribe. Watch all the other things, which are mostly dad jokes at this point, or not. Do whatever you want to do. And I'll see you later. Bye. Ooh, we were gonna do those things, huh? Yeah. Yeah. We were gonna do, let's go. All right.